to Cafe Enoma and welcome to our reaction to Bright Eyes. And we are going to react to the song At the Bottom of Everything.
Sound nice. At the bottom of everything.
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes at the bottom of everything, though, nothing good comes out. So, let's hope this is all the other instances. When you get to the bottom of things, you actually find some wisdom. You learn something.
So there was this woman, and she was on an airplane, and she's flying to meet her fiance, sailing high above the largest ocean on planet Earth, and she was seated next to this man who, you know, she had tried to start conversations, and the only thing she'd heard him say was just to order his Bloody Mary, and when she was sitting there and she was reading this really arduous magazine article about a third world country that she couldn't even pronounce the name of, and she's feeling very bored and very despondent, and then suddenly there was this huge mechanical failure, and one of the engines gave out, and they started just falling in 30,000 feet. The pilot's on the microphone, and he's saying, I'm sorry, oh my God, I'm sorry, I'm apologizing, and she looks at the man and she says, where are we going? And he looks at her and he says, we're going to a party. It's a birthday party. It's your birthday party. Happy birthday, darling. We love you very, 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 very much. And then he starts humming this little tune, and it kind of goes like this. It's kind of 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. We must talk in every telephone, get eaten off the web. Must rip out all the epilogues from the books that we have read. Into the face of every criminal strapped firmly to a chair. We must stare, we must stare, we must stare. We must take all of the medicines, too expensive now to sell. Set fire to the preacher who is promising us hell. Into the ear of every anarchist that sleeps but doesn't dream. We must sing, we must sing, we must sing. It'll go like this, alright. While my mother waters plants, my father loads his gun. He says death will give us back to God, just like the setting sun is returned to the lonesome ocean. Splashed into the deep blue sea. Oh, it was a wonderful splash. We must blend into the choir, sing ecstatic with the whole. Must memorize 9 numbers and deny we have a soul. Into this endless race for property and privilege to be won. We must run, we must run, we must run. We must hang up in the belfry where the bats in moonlight laugh. We must stare into a crystal ball and only see the past. Into the caverns of tomorrow with just our flashlights and our love. We must plunge, we must plunge, we must plunge. And then we'll get down there, way down to the very bottom of everything. And then we'll see it, oh we'll see it, we'll see it, we'll see it. Oh my morning's coming back. The whole world's waking up. All the city buses swimming past. I'm happy just because I found out I am really no one.
Wow, 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 wow. the wisest song I've heard, if that's the adjective or the superlative form that I'm looking for. Wisest song of the year that I've heard. So much in there to savor, so much in there to teach us valuable lessons. Stayed true to its title, stayed true to its word. What a beautiful intro, setting it all up so beautifully inside the plane. What's going on with this lady, the gentleman, then how things go haywire. There's chaos, they're crashing. Nice. And he says, it's your birthday party. You're celebrating a birthday party as they go down. I love it. I love all the lines that came after that. Till then it was just humorous. It was just, a beautiful intro. But then the song that came after was filled with wisdom. And I actually connected with a few of those lines very, very, very well. I connected with it in various ways. Whether if you look at it through the lens of a family circle, if you look at it through the eyes of friends, there are various ways you can connect with those lines. And at times it's a life full of tainted with hypocrisy that each of us lives. And unfortunately there's something that came along maybe 22 years ago at first, but in the last 6 to 8 years it became very, very powerful in our lives. And that thing that came along is called social media. Also one aspect of it is social networking. I can promise you not much actual social networking happens on these apps and sites, but that is what it is called. So one thing came along and it has made us even bigger hypocrites than we ever were, because it gives us the freedom to be anything that we want to be. And that is not good. I'll give you a classic example of this. If you, even on this platform, I'll give you an example of this platform, not because it only happens on YouTube, but because it's the only social media that I am part of. Let's take, there's talks going on about coronavirus and coronavirus cures. And where you get the best cures or options for cures these days, you got the answer. Platforms like these. There's gurus, sages, quacks, and lot of people around the world who have zillion solutions for this one virus. Not even one of them work. And
if it worked, people wouldn't be in.
And deep down we know that. But what I'm getting at is that social media or social networking has become this virus by itself, which allows us to do anything that we feel like. And at most times we get away with it. At most times. So that encourages us to do it even more. And in this process of doing this, it's been now a few years of us becoming this crazy misinformation maniacs. In the process of being this crazy misinformation maniacs, ingesting, digesting, and then blurting out, spreading fake news and fake information, incorrect information, half information everywhere. In this process, we've actually become monsters to each other. We become monsters to each other. The way we interact with our own loved ones has become rather ghastly, uncouth, and downright cheap. I will not call it vulgar yet, but it has crossed to even vulgarity in many parts of the world and in various families. And it has become quite dangerous. Now this song, it helped me think about all this. You can think of it in your own way. So that is what I would like to share. And hopefully, we see things for what they are, not for what we want them to be, or not what our friends and family want them to be. We see things for what they are. I'll give you another example very quickly before I hand it over to Kirti or end this video. The world of birding. Almost every single human being is a bird lover on the inside, even though we love eating chicken.
You're a bird lover then.
No, I'm saying it not because you won't get it.
You're
But
a
the
chicken
fact-
lover.
I'm a chicken lover, but I'm talking about it as a bird lover.
I know.
You don't want to eat
I'm just joking.
You don't want to eat all those birds
I
out
know.
there, right?
Yeah.
But the fact is, so we are all bird lovers in our own way.
Yeah.
And, a simple example in the world of birding. If one birder, maybe he or she is an amateur birder, says to another birder, whether amateur or professional, or more experienced rather, not professional, but if you see a bird and you know that that bird is a particular kind of parakeet, or a particular kind of sparrow, or a particular kind of hummingbird, and if you call a hummingbird a parakeet, will that make sense to the other birder? I think almost every birder who even knows what the term means knows the difference between a hummingbird and a parrot or a parakeet. But social media has made us into those ghastly monsters where we can't tell the difference today. We can't tell the difference with everything, whether this is a parakeet or a hummingbird. And that makes it so dangerous. So this song talks about that in a very shallow way, and I love it because it gives you room to listen to it and make your own interpretations. I definitely like these guys already. Let's see if they have anything more in the future to listen to. What do you think of it, Kirti? If you have anything to say about the song, that is. Today is what, 25th?
25th Sunday, 25th April.
25th April, Sunday.
21.
Yeah, it's a beautiful Sunday, early evening in Mumbai. We can hear the bird sounds in this video if you turn up the volume a bit. You can hear the bird sounds, you can hear the sounds of the big city, Mumbai, of course. But one thing about our area, we are quite lucky, very, very lucky to live in an area such as this where there's so many birds. So many different birds at this time of year, spring and summer months. And especially this year, there have been so many species which have not come, even last year because of the pandemic just starting.
Yeah.
But this year, there have been too many species we spotted and heard, even if we've not been able to see them. So what do you have to say about the song, Kirti? Love it.
But the song, it was okay for me because, depends on how you, in the frame of mind you are and how you look at things. For you, I see that it hit hard home. Right? That's correct. And
Hit home hard.
Hit home hard, sorry. Yeah.
But don't worry, this is social media, so it's all right.
Yeah.
You said hit hard home, that becomes
No,
a right thing.
I wouldn't justify that. If I'm wrong, I accept I'm wrong. But that is where, social media is becoming something very twisted. Because when people are wrong, they don't want to admit they are wrong. They just go on justifying something and manufacturing things around it just to justify something that is completely wrong. So there is no right and there is no wrong. Everything is blurred. And when you live in a world like that, you can justify anything then. You can simply justify anything. If you don't know what is right and what is wrong, what should be ethically done, what shouldn't be done. It's as simple as that. So here is an accident that is happening, the flight is going down and everything, and his story, and he was slurping on some nice drink and he was giving the story. And I gave you a story, you couldn't care less about it. You care about his story, I wouldn't care less about his story. That is how it is.
So you're taking your revenge.
I'm taking my revenge.
So sad, so bad.
That is how I go.
So bad.
It's a good song. It's a good song, but depends at what level you are looking at it. I
didn't expect much from you anyway. I didn't expect you to get it at my level.
Yeah, so I wasn't at that level. I said they want to party and he's saying it's your birthday. Don't fool me. I'm dying. Let me die right now. Don't tell me it's a birthday party and the flight went down on the water and splashed. All of that is utter rubbish. Don't give me all that.
Yeah, bottom line.
Bottom line is that you're going to the bottom.
Life is short, life is unpredictable. You never know when you're going to be taken from the hand in the sky. Live each day well. Try to do some good along the way. At least, I'm not giving you advice, that's what I do. Try to do some good along the way. Even if people don't realize that what you're doing is good, do it anyway. Live a good life.
Yeah.
Live a good life, because you never know when you're going to die. Seriously. In today's world, you never know.
Yeah.
There have been people I've spoken to who within days have died.
Yeah, I know.
And this is even before the pandemic, by the way. So, not that the pandemic changed that. But even before the pandemic, I spoke to someone and 2-3 days later, they were no more.
Yeah.
I was going to their funeral.
Wow.
So that happens. Maybe I used to speak to a lot of people in earlier years, over the net mainly. So maybe I get more of that than the ordinary person.
Yeah.
But this does happen. I've seen it happen all my life, So don't take it lightly. I know for one that anytime my moment will come where my plane is crashing down and I know it's time to say goodbye. It's who will you think of? What will be your regrets, if any? These things are hard hitting. These kind of songs are hard hitting, but it's all about being in. Kirti is absolutely right. First off, it's all about the context. It's all about what you're going through, the way you see things, maybe totally different from what another person sees. So that's how it is. That's it for this one. Goodbye. Have a wonderful Sunday evening, whatever's left of it in your part of the world.